Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. We rolling, man. We rolling. We getting on down the line, man. This 33 years of prison stories, man. I hope y'all still rocking with me. Hope I done picked up some new people, man, to come ride on this journey. But before we get started, man, like I say always, man, please, if you watching this on a regular basis, just check the status and make sure you subscribe. If you not, won't take you but a minute. Don't cost nothing. Hit that subscribe button and let's get this thing moving along. Also, share these videos, like these videos. The likes help a lot and the comments help a lot because it helps YouTube to move us around in the algorithm, man, where they'll start sharing these videos and we'll even grow even faster. So that's what we trying to do. We trying to grow. We trying to spread this message, man. We trying to move this stuff all over, man, so we can get this good positive energy out and possibly stop a couple of people, man, from making some dumb decisions like I made when I was young. With that being said, man, on to the next ride, man. Yeah, Nottoway was crazy, man. It was crazy. I couldn't win on Nottoway, man. I had no wins on there at all. And then they shipped me off to Powhatan. So, man, Powhatan started out kind of rough because, like I said, we was on the bus for, man, like 12 hours, man. 12 hours when you on that bus. That's one of the worst things about getting transferred. I hated it. I just hated it. Never had a good experience with it because you shackled up and you handcuffed up with this black box on, and man, you can't move your wrists, you can't move your feet. If you get an itch, you just messed up. You got to use the bathroom, you messed up, you got to hold it, you know, so it's just a rough experience, man. You packed in on this bus and you like that. The seats is hard. It's uncomfortable, and it's just, yeah, I never had a good experience with it at all. So normally when you go on these transfers like that, Powhatan is the exchange place, so they go to Powhatan anyway, and a lot of buses be in there, and they be exchanging. People get switch buses that's going to different institutions, but that's actually the change spot, Powhatan. But we actually had to sit out there, even if we was going to Powhatan, we had to sit out there, wait till they do all these exchanges and everything before we actually even get on another bus that's just going to drive us around to the front entry. And then we get around there, we going to have to sit down and wait for hours or two till they get their stuff together, you know, get us off of the bus, put us in a holding cell. We go in the holding cell. When we get in the holding cell, then we got to be strip searched. We got to be assigned to a building. All of this, man. So, you know, like I said, this was about 12, 13 hour ride. You can't wait to get in there. Try to use the bathroom. You get in there, use the bathroom. Then you still trying to get to where you got to get because you're still uncomfortable. Your wrist hurt. My wrist always swells up when I put them handcuffs on for that long. It's some type of reaction to my skin. I swell up. And so I'm already irritated, frustrated. We ain't had nothing to eat. You know, a bologna sandwich and an orange when we first left. That's it. So trying to get in here, get something to eat, get where I'm going, get comfortable, find out who my cellie is, find out where I'm at, and get, you know what I'm saying, get you know, kind of settled in. So they just having us sitting in the holding tank, man. They exchanging shifts, and they just walking right by us and talking like we just don't even exist. You know, they laughing and joking, and the ones coming on work, getting off work, talking about, you know, street stuff and all this and all that, while we sitting here like, you know, monkeys in a zoo, man. It's just, I'm telling you, it's a horrible experience, man. So, you know, I can remember that time, man, because I got irritated, I don't know what, man, because I was asking them, kept asking everybody just walking by, man, we gonna get something to eat or what, man, and y'all gonna get us up out of here. So, you know, and little to say, you know, needless to say, they don't like that at all. They don't like nobody to speak out. They don't like nobody to stand up for themselves. They don't like that at all because they just feel like they in such a power position and authority that, like, who are you to question them? So I can remember, man, I would ask a couple of people, man, they was like, I don't know, man, hold on, this, that, and the third. I'm inventorying these faces of the COs, the ones that, you know, got something smart to say or whatever, because I know when I see them on the compound, I ain't gonna never like them. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna be giving them the mean mug, because I ain't gonna like you. If you come up, the first impression is gonna be my impression of you all the time. So I know that's how you carried it, or whether you was putting on or showing off or whatever. But I just was trying to inventory their faces. So I won't get no results and whatnot. And then here come, I see a dude coming in there with a big hat on. You know, a big hat is either lieutenant, captain, major, whatever. So I see, I see this tall, brown skinned dude coming in there pimping like he in a exploitation movie. You know, like, you know, from back in the day, you know, the Mac or something. He got this big hat on, but it's cocked to the side, and he just pimping and walking. I'm like, man, who is this clown right here? This is what I'm saying in my mind. So as he get closer, you can see their bars on their lapel, which tells you whether they're lieutenant, sergeant, captain, or whatever. So he a captain. I look at his name tag, and I see Johnson. So I'm like, yo, you a captain, man? You a Captain Johnson? So he talking to somebody, so I'm trying to get his attention. So then he just turned around and give me like one of them looks like, can't you see me talk? You know, so I'm like, he said, hold on, man. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, yeah, all right. So he looked back at me again, finished talking, then he come over, he said, what's up? So I said, man, we've been in here, man. We've been on the bus, man, 12, 13 hours, man. We've been in here, you know, sitting out here in front of the joint for about an hour. We've been sitting in here, man. We trying to get to where we going, and we trying to get something to eat, man. If we going to get something to eat, at least get something to eat, man. You know, so he was like, that what you called me for? I was like, yeah. He said, man, they going to get to you when they get to you, man. I said, oh, man, yeah, okay. I said, I shouldn't have even said nothing to you. I see what type of time you on. Go ahead on, man. So he said, he started walking up, and then he turned around. He said, what you say? I said, go ahead on, man. You ain't no help. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no help. Go ahead on, man, you know. So he said, okay. I got me one, huh? I see you when you get back here. I said, okay, I'm coming. I ain't got nowhere else to go. I'm coming back there. He said, oh, yeah, I know you is. I see you when you get back there. So I'm like, oh, man, this going to start off on a bad foot already because this is a captain. So he got some pull, ain't no question, because he a captain. But at the same time, I'm always going to stand up for me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever come with it, that's what come with it, man. But they was dragging us, and they know they was dragging us. So, you know, I go ahead on with the little process, man. They ended up coming back there, strip searching all of us, giving us our property, not our property, but giving us our clothes and stuff back, get dressed, telling us we going into the building, we going into another salad port in there, and they're going to bring us something to eat. So we get up in there. They put us in another holding cell. They started bringing us trays. We want them some trash. They could have kept that. You know what I'm saying? So while we in there, they bringing us exchange of clothes now because we got to transfer in this little flimsy jumpsuit. So they bringing us clothes now, you know, blues, shirts or whatever, and giving us sale assignments of where we going, right? Now, back up a few minutes, because when we get there or when we leaving Nottoway and we go to get on the bus, man, lo and behold, I told y'all the dude that had on Nottoway that went and told the people that checked in and told the people that he would I was gonna kill him and Rap Brown was gonna kill him if he ain't had his money, and they locked me up. I ain't see the cat no more. He stayed in jail. He ain't come out. So when we go to get transferred, had this clown come out here in shackles in handcuffs too. He getting transferred too. And as soon as I seen him, he seen me, boy, his eyes got big as a saucer. But, you know, we shackled and handcuffed up and everything, but we getting on the same bus. And I just looked at him, and he said, oh, yeah, man, yeah, I got to tell you about that situation. I said, oh, what a tangle where we weave. I said, boy, you better hope you ain't going to where I'm going. He said, no, man, look, man. I said, man, yeah, okay. Now, I won't go, you know, do nothing critical to him, but as God is my witness, I was going to slap fire from him, man. As soon as I got a chance to, if they would have put him right where I was at, I was going to slap his face off, you know, for crossing me up for nothing. I try to help you. When you cross me, I was going to slap his face off and show his grits his groceries, you know. But we get on the bus and everything, and like I say, he keep trying to talk to me, and sure enough, he going to Powhatan. So he was scared to death. So we get on Powhatan, we get on that joint, and I say by the time we get to the other holding cell, he keep on trying to talk to me. I told him I want to talk to him, man, let's leave him alone. So when we get in the holding cell, when we get our food and stuff, and they done took the handcuffs off now, and they gonna, give us our cell assignment, but we got to eat, so they took the handcuffs off. Man, that man was scared to death. That man went up, stood by the bars and everything, and told the people that he wanted to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? He checking in. So I ain't gonna do nothing to him right there anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting on the compound. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going out like that. So he's scared to death. So he thinking I'm gonna do something to him so bad. He trying to go to jail. He trying to check in. Now I'm scared because I'm thinking he gonna tell him he trying to check in because of me. Then I'm in a whole nother other situation. But I guess he learned his lesson for the first time. He see how that stuff can come back on him. Because like I say, you do dirt, that dirt gonna find you. And then if it find you, you might mess around with the wrong person, you end up in the dirt. That's how it go. Dirt for dirt for dirt. You know what I'm saying? So he check in though, but he don't say my name or nothing. He said somebody on the compound that he don't want to be on there with, whatever. They go ahead on, cuff him up, take him out, and lock him up. I ain't even never see him the whole time I was on the compound, which was good. Because like I said, I was going to slap fire from him, for real. But that was a good thing for me. So while we in there eating and everything, all of a sudden, here come old Captain. He come in there. He can get the door open and everything. Walk all up in there with another officer like he Billy Bad, man. He come walk over to me. He said, yeah, you. Yeah, I told you I was going to see you when you got back here. Then. So I'm sitting there eating and everything. I said, yeah, you did? Yeah, I said, what's up? He said, yeah, come in, let me holler at you. So he get me, take me up, put handcuffs on me, take me out in the hallway, him and a sergeant. I guess this what he call his shake-up. He gonna run the shake-up on. He said, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? I told him my name. He said, yeah, that's who I thought you was. He said, I looked in your file already. I know who you is. I know how much time you got. I know everything about you, everything you did since you been in the system. He said, but let me tell you something. I run this camp right here. This is my camp. Yeah. He said, so you come on here and you act like you bad? He said, I'm gonna have my eye on you the whole time, waiting for you every time. You slip up, I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at him right. I'm like, okay. Okay. He said, oh, I just want you to know. He said, you see, remember this name right here. This is my camp. I run this. I said, all right, boss. He said, don't patronize me. I said, all right, boss, you run it. You the boss. He said, all right, just want you to know that. Ask about me when you get back there. Everybody back there gonna tell you about me. I said, yeah, all right, boss. He said, take him on back. Send me on back up in there, right? I'm like, man, this dude is a cold clown, right? You know what I'm saying? But I found out about him later on, though. Like I say, he won't lie. He run that compound, But anyway, he sent me on back in there, and we get to moving around, you know what I'm saying, trying to get our stuff together, man. All our stuff come in a laundry bag, big old net bag. We check and see and make sure you got 2 pair of pants, 2 socks, drawers, underwear, whatever. Then they can start moving us out, taking each individual to whatever cell block they was going to. So they come get me. I think I went to C block, right? So they come get me, man. They tell me they taking me out, man. So as I'm going out the jump, and I got my bag thrown on my shoulder, man, and I'm walking, got all these big old country blues on, and I'm walking going to my block. As we get to my block, they bust the door open, and when they bust the door open, you got to go in. When you go in, you in the salad port. Then you got to go through another set of bars, and then you in the actual block. So when they bust the door for me to go in the salad port, it's a dude coming out the salad port, an inmate, and man, he seen me and just walked up to me and said, "What's up, homie?" and hugged me, and the guy like threw me back because I'm on a new camp, and his face looked familiar, but it threw me off. So I'm looking at him. And I don't let nobody get that close to me. I was, getting ready to, push him up off me. But he said, man, I see you when I get back. I'm getting ready to go to work. And he rolled out. But the thing that stuck out to me about him was he had a very, very familiar face. I knew him. But when you've been locked up now for the time I did, over a decade, you saying, do I know this dude from another prison, or do I know this dude from the street, or whatever? Your mind started playing tricks on you. And the thing that threw me off, he had one eye. He had one eye. So I'm like, I would have remembered that, but his faces look so familiar. So he went on out, I go in, right, and that was still on my mind. That was strange, man. I know this cat. So when I get back there, I walk in the block, like I told you, Powhatan big, man. It's a big old block, man. It's a long block. It's almost just like the wall is built. If y'all went and watched the documentary on the wall, it's like the wall is built, but the only difference is it got 2 sides, and instead of 4 tiers, it got 3 tiers, you know. So it's a long tier. You got tiers on this side, and these are bars. This the door to close your door, and you can actually look straight across from your cell inside the other cell. The cell is directly in front of you. You can look right in their cell. They can look right in your cell, man. And the cells is extra small. Yeah, the cells is extra small, man. It's little, and then there's a double cells, bunk beds. Man, if you get off the bunk bed, man, you can touch the bunk bed right here and touch the wall right here. We hardly got no space in here. It ain't nothing but that, a little locker in there, and the toilet. Man, big old window that you can look outside to see the yard, or look all the way across. You can see receiving. Dudes that's in receiving. Powhatan had a receiving. Powhatan actually had a jail. You know what I'm saying? Like a local jail for people that was getting locked up on the street and get in jail. They go down there, but we never see them. But it was down in the basement. So it was a dirty, dingy, old compound, man. I mean, dirty, man. Filthy, cold in there in the wintertime. Hot as I don't know what in the summertime, man. They was infested with ants, man. Dudes would take Vaseline and peanut butter and put it all around their windowsill to try to keep the ants out, man. It was a horrible, as far as conditions on there. It was horrible, man. And like I say, they still, when I first got there, they still had to crank doors. They had to crank the door open, all the doors open at the same time, and they crank it back and close all the doors at the same time. Officers would come by, just start slamming your door. You know what I'm saying? First they crank them. When they crank them, later on, when they ended up putting the digital thing in, the officers had to come by and slam your door. That's when I get down the line, I tell you about that, because that created problems too. But at first, they just had to crank them. You had to be up in them doors. If you end up getting stuck outside the door when they all lock up, then they probably won't give you a charge. Sometimes they might go ahead and lock you up, man, say delaying and hindering, you know what I'm saying, in officers' duties or whatever. But I go in the cell with a white dude, man. They put me in the cell with a white dude, man. He was an alright dude, man. He was a little out there, but he was alright. But the thing about it was, he said he went home in like 29 days. You know what I'm saying? He was getting out in like 29 days, so he won't caring about nothing. All he was trying to do was make it to that date 29 days later, which I understood. But he wasn't no bad dude. He was okay or whatever, trying to tell me who was on here, whatnot, this, that, and the third. So I tried to get my stuff settled all in, put my stuff on my bed, but then I want to walk out in the block because I want to check out the atmosphere. I want to check out the faces, make sure if I see anybody I know, make sure I ain't got no enemies on here. Ain't nobody trying to get at me, you know what I'm saying? So I got to be ready and be prepared. You got to know, you know what I'm saying, your surroundings and know what's going on. So, man, lo and behold, I see my man Troop, man. Boom, Troop had left, I told y'all, and he ended up on here. Now, this was crazy because like I told y'all, man, me and Troop had got into the situation on Greensville, man, where Troop got this real bad charge and I got caught up with him. I told y'all gonna go back and watch. He's the first story I did on my YouTube page when I started my own page. And I just talked to him again today, coincidentally, and we trying to get something set up where I'm gonna do an interview with Troop. Y'all are gonna be thoroughly entertained when y'all see this cat right here, cause he been through it, man. He been through it and he done it all. And like I say, I'm telling y'all right now, y'all gonna really get with his story, man. And he is a talker, so he will tell you all of it, and from beginning to end. But you know, like I say, he stayed in controversy, man. But from the time we was on Greensville till the time, you know, he ended up getting out, man, and we just kept hitting and missing after that. After they separated us on Greensville, every time I got somewhere he was gone within a couple of days. And that's what happened on there. Within 4 or 5 days, he was working in the kitchen, and he ended up getting a rumbling in the kitchen with somebody this time. And next thing you know, I seen him coming back, packing up his stuff, he was gone. So I ain't even never run into him no more. You know, he ended up getting out, whatever, but I ain't run into him no more. But that was last time I seen him. But when I did see him, and we get to chopping it up for a minute, and I asked him, I said, look, man, I just coming from Nottoway, you know, I was there, I just came from there. I said, but when I was coming in, man, I seen this dark-skinned dude going out, man. He got one eye, man, and he hugged me, act like he know me. I said, well, he a homie or something? He was like, nah, I don't think so. I said, well, what his name is? And he said his name is Wheat. And when he said his name was Wheat, and it popped back in my head, he was somebody that I knew from the street. But when I knew him from the street, he had his eye. I knew him from the street from down here in Virginia, from when I was down here in the summer times and everything. I knew him. I more so knew his sister than him. He was a couple of years older than me, but I knew him, knew about him, had, you know, even dealt with him a couple of times on the street, you know, had conversations with him or whatnot. But I definitely knew who he was, man. So now that, you know, eased my mind a little bit that I actually could put a name with the face, you know, but I still was wondering what had happened to his eye, you know. So anyway, Troop went on to work or whatever. I started, you know, looking around. I seen a couple of dudes I knew, a couple of dudes, you know, that I had, you know, did time with or whatever. Got to talking to them, you know what I'm saying, getting a little lay of the land, what was going on here. But I could see the way things were moving on here already, that this was gonna be an experience right here. Because like I say, you got both sides out on this one block, man. And I don't want to say exactly how many people it was, but I know it was in the hundreds. You know, so you got hundreds of people moving around at one time in this one congested block. That anything could happen. And they ain't had cameras at this time. They had blind spots. They had the open showers where you ain't had no single showers. You had 3 floors of showers. You had one on the bottom, one on the second floor, one on the third floor. And these showers got like 8 stalls in them. But they all right beside each other. So you got to take showers together. You ain't had no privacy. You know what I'm saying? You had to go up and down these stairways. Ain't no cameras. Dudes was getting laid out in them stairways, chopped down, putting that Bethlehem all up in them decent and leaving them right there and let the people figure out, you know, who did it. So it was going down on Powhatan. It was going down on there. It was a vicious jump. I think Powhatan was the second oldest prison in Virginia besides the Wall. So you could tell the way it was built. It was old, like I say, dirty, run down, rusty. And in cold, when it's cold, man, you can literally be standing out in the block with your coat, sweatpants, long johns, everything on, button up, and you inside, you in a block, and you talking, and you can see the smoke, you know what I'm saying, coming out of people's mouth, you know, as if they were smoking a cigarette or something. That's just how cold it was inside the block, you know what I'm saying. At the back of the block, they had these great big windows, and half of the windows was bust out. So it was something else in there, man. I can remember, like I say, trying to put my eye on everybody. I saw a couple of people that I actually seen on other institutions, but I didn't actually know their name. This institution also too, being that they had a medical unit on this institution called PMU. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Powhatan Medical Unit, where it was actually a hospital on this institution, which also created a lot of sick people on this institution. No matter what it was, from AIDS to cancer to whatever, they might be on this institution because they had the medical facility to deal with them. Whereas today, wouldn't have to fly them out, take them to MCV or take them on the outside hospital. They actually had doctors and medical people on this. They had a whole nother separate building that was adjacent to this building, but it was an actual hospital, PMU. So they had a lot of sick people on here, man. And the thing about that was, they was right amongst you. You don't know who it was. They could be in the cell with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that was their personal information and it wasn't privy to everybody. So you had to be real cautious on this compound. Like I say, we sharing showers. You in the cell. So you had to be up on your hygiene on here, man. You had to really be up on your hygiene and paying attention to what was going on. Some of it you could see, some of it you couldn't see. but it was a dangerous situation. Yeah, it was a dangerous situation, man, because we shared the same water fountain. We had a water fountain in there. You might go to the water fountain today and go to look at it, or to either get water. We said the same hot water tank. It might be bloody Band-Aids on the water fountain, man. We share the same ice machine. You might open the ice machine to try to get a scoop of ice. It might be blood in the ice machine. It just, man, this thing was, yeah, it was dangerous, man. You had to be on top of your hygiene on there at all times, because you didn't know what you was dealing with. You didn't know what you was putting your hands into. You didn't know. You just had to take care of yourself the best of your ability on this compound. I learned that off the rip. And my homeboy had told me too. He said, man, it's a lot of sick people on here, so, make sure you're on your hygiene on here. So, like I say, which was hard to do. I mean, it wasn't hard to do personally, but it was something that you had to always be on. But you in the cell with another person. That's why when you're in the cell with another person too, you got to make sure that person is cleanly as well, like cleaning up the cell, wiping down behind himself. Because like I say, we in open doors. These is bars, man. Dudes can do the same thing they was doing in the wall. They could come by your cell, man, and throw stuff in there. They can come by your cell and light it on fire. It won't nothing you can do. And let me tell you, Powhatan used to be called a slaughterhouse. They called it that because at one time they had the cattle there too. So you could smell it outside the window. All them cows. They had a whole grazing field over there across that you could look across there and see. So you could smell all the cow manure, everything, man. It just, I'm telling you, man, this was just wild. And then you had dudes that was on Powhatan that had been on there for decades. They had one dude, man, that I actually know. He got out either a little bit after me or a little bit before me, but he did his whole time on there. He did like 30-something years right there. It's very rare that you end up staying on one compound the whole time, but you got some people who do. I wasn't that fortunate. Like I told you, they was moving me around like I was cattle for real. Like I told y'all, Greensville, that 6-year stay right there was the longest I stayed on any institution. Besides the time I came home now recently, I guess, right before I made parole, I think I stayed on Nottoway. Let me see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, well, Nottoway probably beat it. I stayed on Nottoway, I think, from 14 till 2020 when I made parole. That's 7 years. But those two right there, everything else within 33 years was in 3 to 4 years on any institution. I don't know what it was, but they just kept moving me, or be it either I got into some type of situation or whatever, and then they just got rid of me. But those are the two longest stints by far that I stayed on any institution at one time. So, like I said, being on here though, I just kept my eyes open, man, and I started looking around and just seeing how people was doing. They was getting it in on here. Like I say, the police ain't on the floor. The police would leave and then they would come back and make rounds. So the police ain't on the floor, and by the police not being on the floor, and you got hundreds of dudes out here at one time, it won't nothing for the police to leave and come back and somebody laid in the floor bloody and messed up, or laid up there in the shower bloody and messed up, and don't nobody know who did it, and ain't nobody gonna say who did it. You know what I'm saying? If the dude that's bloody and messed up don't say who did it, then we probably get locked down for a minute, and they just go around trying to check, see if anybody got any scars on them, anybody knuckles bruised up, whatever. But for the most part, that was it. So that let you be known right there when you on here. I mean, you got to fend for yourself. You got to be in warrior mode. You got to be ready to go. They had dudes on here. This was an old throwback camp, like I say, because you had a lot of dudes on here that did a lot of time. So you got dudes on here, man, that's already into their own thing, man. They is extorting dudes, raping dudes, taking dudes commissary, taxing dudes. It's just everything going on here, man. They running protection schemes. Dudes that was weak can pay somebody, and that dude gonna go to war for you, make sure don't nobody do nothing to you. It was going on here, man. And you had to learn all of this stuff, boom, 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 and who was who and what was going on. Man, listen, They even had a dude on here, man. They had this crazy dude on here, man. And to me, I ended up getting to know him, but to a certain extent. But I always looked at him when the first time I ever seen him, man. I'm telling you, man, I wish I had a picture of this dude. Man, this dude looked just like Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, just like him. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it was he was small, but he was cut up because he worked out and everything, which he had to for what he was into. He was cut up and everything, but he was a little dude. He was probably about 5'6" and a half, little, stocky, but he facial features, the long jaw, just like Sammy Davis Jr., the head, everything. But the thing about him was, man, they call this dude Suicide. That was his name. Only name I ever knew him by, Suicide. And the reason that I heard what they call him Suicide for was even crazier. They said they called the man Suicide because he was supposed to be sick, like he got, AIDS or either HIV or something like that, but he would take and be trying to rape the white boys.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.